Welcome to Expedition Sea Nest. Join us this week as we make our way to Eleuthera from the busy port of Nassau, New Providence. We make more repairs to the darn dinghy and end up at Spanish Wells Yacht Haven, one of the most lovely marinas we have ever been to.
Rolling. We are off to Nassau, New Providence Island. We just left our cozy little anchorage by Comfort Key. And Little Harbor. Yeah, Little Harbor was the main key that protects us from the west winds, east winds, and Comfort Key. And what was it, a Lizard Key? Lizard Key was protecting us from the west winds. So it was really nice, but the current was ripping through there, we had a really comfortable night last night, and we are now on the way, and we've got 39 miles, almost 40 miles to go. I don't expect the waves to get any bigger. Actually, they might start to diminish a little bit. I don't even think they're 3-footers out here today. Maybe they are. There's some breaking there that might be 3-footers, but we have had so few opportunities to move from location to location because of windy conditions that we are actually, I'm seeing 3 sailboats that are moving today as well. We've got probably only about 10 knots of wind. And while I'm talking to you, I could be rigging my rods. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till we get a little deeper. I'm gonna end up losing one of my good baits to a barracuda. They're gonna cut me off. I just lost a big fish. I just couldn't stop it. It almost spooled me. I mean, we put the boat in neutral and the thing just kept going. I don't know how big it was, but it sure was powerful. I finally had to crank down the drag where the hook just pulled out. And then we went for another 4 or 5 miles. I think we were about 15 miles off of Nassau, and Julia hollers at me. She says, "There's a fish jumping in front of me." And his fish started jumping like way out there, and it's just coming towards us to the point where it was right up to our boat, and it was a big sailfish. Finally stopped jumping, but it basically stopped jumping when it was only like 50 feet from our boat. I thought, maybe it was free jumping and maybe we had a chance to hook it, but no, it wasn't, so it was gone. So we're getting pretty close to Nassau, and I really don't see me getting a chance on another fish.
So we made it.
Made it to Nassau. Beautiful trip. Didn't catch any fish, but it was a good trip. We are now going to put some fuel on. I'm guessing we probably burnt $40, $60 worth of fuel, and that's leaving from Great Harbor, so that is really good. Right now we're going a little quicker. We're burning about 2.1 miles per gallon. We're doing 20,000 RPMs. Doing roughly 6.5 knots, 7 knots right now.
Yeah, it's always a little bit of a culture shock when you get in here.
Oh, yeah.
You've got container ships going in and out, and you have, I counted 7
cruise ships.
7 cruise ships in the port right now. So 4 of them will be leaving in the next few hours. So it's a busy spot. A great place to provision, and we've got a nice marina we're staying at, but you're always kind of happy to leave the city to keep going. These things are so huge they don't even fit. in the entire screen. They're almost too big for the screen. Wow.
Our stay in Nassau was short, and if you visit episode 29, you can have a tour of the marina. But I did snap some photos for the boys of one of the coolest motor cats I have ever seen. Can you imagine traveling with your flat skiff on the bow of your boat? That would be perfect for bone fishing. But let's not give Michael any new ideas. I know a lot of men watch this channel, so let me know if you want me to show you more interesting boats that we come across along the way.
So we just left Nassau. We just passed by South Island, and now look at the size of these swells. We're going out into the ocean. We were going to go on the Bahama bank, but it's like you have a choice between 10-second waves and 5-second waves, or 4-second waves, I think it was. So I'd rather cruise in, especially we're going to be going almost head into the waves. I'd rather cruise in 10-second waves. Of course, these are going to be bigger waves. These are, I'm guessing they're about 1.5 meters, so we're roughly sitting at about 4.5-foot swells and waves in here right now. But I think it's going to get better the farther we get out. And the best thing about being in the deep water is we can actually fish. Whereas in the Bahama bank side, all you're going to really get is barracuda. So looking forward to this. We have a long day. It's going to be, I think we're going to probably get there around 5 o'clock. We started kind of late this morning, but the reason why we want to leave late is because the wind is slowly dying through the day. Then it picks up again at 7 o'clock. So the longer we can put it off, the better the sea conditions will be. So.
What's he doing?
Trying to eat ice cream here without sticking it in my eye, in my neck.
And the excuse is that it doesn't stay completely frozen in the freezer, so we need to eat it.
It's a bad excuse.
A great excuse.
It's like soft ice cream, it's good.
Good.
Watch your toes here, honey. Get in here.
Yes, that's better.
I just want to check my lines. If you pick up a piece of Sargasso grass, you can be dragging it for like miles and miles.
On it, eh?
No, nothing on it. But last when we went from the Berry Islands over to New Providence Island, there was one piece of grass hanging off it, and you don't know how long you've been dragging that, you know. So I'd say every half hour or an hour you should check your lines anyways. I mean, there's not a whole lot of grass, Sargasso grass out here, but there's just a little chunk there, and all it takes is one piece.
Yeah.
And you're not going to catch a fish on that line.
You have a pirate story for us? Or a limerick?
What's that?
You have a limerick.
A limerick. Wow. There's 6 Shilling Islanders over there. And that was, I think it was founded by a pirate named Bates. I can't be 100% sure about that. He was not a very good pirate, so he moved up north. And he took up figure skating. And there was a limerick made about him. There once was a pirate named Bates who did a fandangle on skates. One slip of his cutlass rendered him nutless, and he was totally useless on baits.
Okay.
So I don't know, 6 Shilling Island just sounds like a pirate name, doesn't it? Arr.
This is how we entertain each other.
Yes.
Coming into Eleuthera, and it's tight squeeze through the rocks.
We arrived at Royal Island and spent the night in its protected bay. We had time to repair the dinghy floor and even spent some time looking for dinner.
Well, so we're working here trying to get the dinghy once again, trying to patch holes in the dinghy and prevent holes in the dinghy. So these little black plastic pieces, where did that one go? So this one came back out again, and this is now, both of these here have come off, these little black end caps. This is the floor in that Highfield dinghy I have. It's what they call a soft bottom. It's not the aluminum, the rib bottom, the rigid bottoms. So if this comes out, there's this raw aluminum that's going to cut through the bottom of the dinghy. Well, that's what happened to both sides. It is cut through, and then now I couldn't figure out why the dinghy was leaking. This is now my third time fixing this, but I think I found a way to fix this. I'm going to permanently fix it. I'm actually going to put a screw through here to prevent this from coming out. So first thing I'm going to do is clean this. I'm going to re-glue it because a little added insurance doesn't hurt, even though it hasn't been doing anything here. But there's also, now we found there's a leak in the keel. Don't know how that got there. There's nothing in the bottom. Nothing's come through the bottom of it.
And we don't drag it on the sand.
We don't drag it on the sand. It's been a non-stop problem, this boat. It's like we've got
dinghy, yes.
The dinghy has, yeah,
yes.
not our
The boat.
our sea nest, our Ranger tug is nothing. It's been good. That dinghy's just, it's garbage. It really is absolute garbage. It's just, we're so frustrated with it. And we brought it in to get fixed, and this is the interesting part about this, is that it was under warranty. We brought it in, and they found a bunch of pinholes, like, I don't know, like 20 pinholes, or I can't remember how, 50 pinholes on the top of the dinghy where you sit. And he says, the guy who was warrantying, the guy from Highfield, the dealer, he says, have you got a dog? And I go, no. And so he says, well, have you been sitting in sand and then sitting on your dinghy? And I go, no. And he says, well, it doesn't make sense why you have all these holes in the dinghy. So I'm thinking, all right, so if that dinghy can't even stand up, we haven't been sitting in sand and sitting on our dinghy, and we don't have a dog, so it can't even stand that type of use. That's telling me that it's definitely not for somebody who's going to use their dinghy on a daily basis. It'll just wear out in no time. That's literally, that boat had 2 months worth of use and it was worn out. I mean, it's just, and things just keep falling apart on this thing. So we have to look for a new dinghy, and we don't know which one we should get. We're considering possibly a Zodiac. They make a really nice dinghy. But if any one of you guys have an idea who makes a good dinghy, one that can withstand, you know, a daily use, not just once a month use or something like that. We need something that'll stand up, and it has a soft bottom.
Yeah, we have to be able to roll it up.
Yeah, that's right. We have to be able to roll it up and stick it in the back of our van, and when we want to go home, or roll it up and stick it on the roof of the boat. So it can't be a rigid bottom, but it has to be able to withstand the use of it. And it's obviously the material is not strong enough to even sit on it. It's wearing it out after only 2 months. So possibly there's I noticed that Zodiac does have, like, it's reinforced on the top where you sit, which might be really nice. I also find that this is heavier than what they said it was going to be. And that could be because the seat weighs, that seat there probably weighs about 8 pounds. And I know that the Zodiac one, it's just a light piece of aluminum. So we'd like to get a lighter dinghy as well. So if you have any ideas, let us know here. And if you want to hang around, I'm going to show you
how I'm gonna fix this. And I would, if you are going to buy maybe any dinghy, I don't know if this is an issue that other dinghies have, but is make sure that you make sure that these little plastic end caps are on. Okay. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
So now the screw should lock that piece of rubber in place. Now the screw is, fortunately, you know, I always carry a good selection of screws. There, see that? And if everything goes right, that screw will not come through the bottom. The screw isn't coming through, which is good, but there's a bit of a burr on there. So I'm going to take a file to that and just...
And that's preventing the screw from coming through?
Well, no. This is the file's just. I don't want that burr rubbing against
the plastic.
Against the PVC. Yeah.
Got it.
Now this is a PVC dinghy. This isn't a Hypalon. Hypalons are expensive. We had to pay $250 to get this fixed. This stuff should, like all those little pinholes in the top. I mean, I think it's actual a build quality problem. But I mean, I don't know enough about it. And I didn't argue with them. I just paid the $250. And so there's a... we definitely will be looking for a new dinghy this summer coming up. Right, Joy?
Yes.
This
is nonsense.
This is absolute nonsense. It's just non-stop fixing this thing.
And not only is it just not nonsense, it's a safety issue. If you ever have the need for your dinghy and then you find your dinghy doesn't have the ability to get you out of trouble, then what's the point?
Exactly.
The spear fishing on the inner bay was tough, but Michael did end up spearing some lionfish, which many people don't realize are delicious to eat. You just have to be extremely careful how you clean them. Here's a short demonstration of how Michael does it.
So I'm just at the end of these here are spines, and these are incredibly painful if you get poked by them. They're poisonous. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting them all off so I can't get poked by them. Look at that. The ends of them are, wow, those are tough. Aren't they beautiful though?
They sure are.
Look at that. But they're incredibly harmful to the reefs.
I feel like the ones we saw last year were more of a black and white, and this is orange and white.
Well, there's apparently there's several species of them, but this is a very large one. She doesn't. I don't think there's anything on those back fins, but look at that. I don't trust these things. You see that? I think I'm going to wear the. I think I'm going to wear gloves when I actually clean this. Even look at those dorsal fins. Oh, they're so
spiky.
Spiky. I should be wearing gloves when I do this. This is stupid.
Well, not the first or the last stupid thing that you would do.
No. Those cut easy.
Mm-hmm.
See those things? I don't know about those. But if I cut them all, then look at even that one there. Okay, I think we got them all. There he is. He wouldn't swim very good now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they just sit there and they just sort of suspend. They just suspend in the water like this, and they don't even suspend like you'd think. They will suspend, you know, vertical like this, and any direction, and it doesn't look like a fish. So these all the little reef fish that they eat, and they're incredibly ravenous. These guys, they're really hard on the reefs, and I'm glad we got that one out of there.
They have a voracious appetite.
Oh, yes, just
like fish,
just like meat.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that. Is it ever beautiful? Apparently they're good eating. We don't eat them when they're small, so a lot of them we just try to kill them. Because not a lot of the other fish will eat these things because they are poisonous. So they become quite common on the reefs. Oh yeah, very delicate flesh. Yeah. I'm just cutting it along the rib cage right now. You can go through the rib cage and make your cut. You see that? We're not missing any meat right there. And then I'll come down. Just take it right to there, and then I'll just leave a little bit on there. Makes it much easier to clean them if you leave the skin on there. Oh, the new cutting board up here on this level is so much nicer than bending over. Look at that. Yeah. There's one for it.
We are leaving the first anchorage here in the Bahamas. What was the cove called?
That's Royal Cove, I believe it's called. It's on Royal Island.
Royal Island Cove. It was the really lovely little quiet anchorage. Lots of privacy. And we're out in the main bay. And pretty chalky.
Yeah, but the opposite direction. No, it's coming more from this. It's more of a southeast wind today, and so it's got a lot of fetch that's coming in right now. We just had a wave. We didn't have our back door closed.
That was a bit sketchy.
Yeah, that was not good. So I hopefully the scuppers did a job, and we didn't end up with a bunch of water in our hatches. We got batteries and everything down there. So we'll have to have a look at that later. Yeah, you definitely don't want salt water where your electrical stuff is. That's for sure.
This is a short screen recording from the Predict Wind app that we use to help us decide when it is safe to travel. Blue is low wind, red is take cover, and the lines show you the wind direction. I'm including it for you here so that you can see how frequently the direction of the wind was changing and the intensity of the wind speed. We were well protected and safe in Eleuthera, but it did affect our activities a little.
People knew her by her will, to make it whatever she put her mind to. Late night hours up the hill, serving coffee to strangers, talking about revenue. She kept dreaming of a world big enough for everyone, but she knew it must rain before it grows. She kept dreaming of the day butterflies survive the wheel, even though she could knock down and never showed.
With the continuous changes in wind and weather, we decided to treat ourselves overnight to a beautiful marina in Spanish Wells. We really enjoyed ourselves here, and I'll give you a full tour in the next episode. Until then, thanks for watching, and we'd appreciate it if you considered subscribing to our channel. It's free. Leave us a comment. We love to hear from our viewers. Have a great day.
I remember her in songs, decades old, but it doesn't matter.